Hello once again, I'm Kevin Turner from Real Estate Talk, and in the September edition of Australian Property Investor magazine there's an article called The Great Aussie Infrastructure Boom, written by Simon Pressley from Propertyology. Now inside that article I can tell you that Simon has unlocked Propertyology's vault, and all that comprehensive information, that property research, comes flooding out in that article. It's a great article, and Simon joins me. Simon, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having us, Kevin.
More particularly, thank you for opening up your vault.
Yes, it's a first for us. We certainly keep what we refer to as our intellectual property very tightly held.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of misleading information about Australia's infrastructure pipeline over the last few years, and we thought it was time to open it up and let people in.
Well, that's beautiful, and there is a lot of information in there. It's staggering to think that there's $400 billion in infrastructure projects that are planned. I'm going to ask a dumb question to start with, Simon. Why is this so important to investors?
Well, at the end of the day, what a property investor is doing is providing shelter to the general public. And the number one cause of where people take shelter is, of course, employment. So infrastructure projects are the single biggest source of new jobs. Hence the reason why Propertyology takes an active interest in learning about new infrastructure projects. And there's often a very big gestation period with infrastructure projects. A proposal could be announced today and it could be several years before they actually start construction.
I will talk to you about time frame in just a moment, because it's a fairly critical thing, I'd imagine. But can I just ask you about whether some infrastructure projects are more important than others?
From a property investor point of view, yes, but there's no sort of we couldn't put our finger on and say a tourism project is better than a hospital or anything like that, because there's different size projects, of course. Transport, there's a lot of transport infrastructure projects in Australia's pipeline at the moment, but if we pull those apart, an airport or a port itself, a goods port, are more important, I think, from a property investment point of view than, say, a tunnel or a highway. A tunnel or a highway, might be good from a traffic congestion point of view, but once the project's finished, there's no further ongoing jobs. Whereas a port or an airport does create ongoing jobs and can often open up completely new economies for locations.
Yeah. Is timing important when you're looking at infrastructure projects in terms of when you invest?
Look, it certainly is, Kevin. I guess a common mistake that a lot of DIY property investors might get caught into is the hype's already occurred, the construction's very advanced, the locations across all the airways, all the tabloids, and then they jump in. The best time is after all the formal approvals are in place. So the project has passed a proposal and definitely going to go ahead, and before all that hype occurs.
Were there any, without giving away too much of what's in the article, Simon, are there any big winners? Were there any standouts for you as you look through the data?
I guess if we look at it on a state-by-state base, Kevin, overwhelmingly Queensland is the big winner. One of the causes of that, if you picture the map of Queensland, there's actually 10 locations up and down the coast and a couple of inland locations with a population of 60,000 people or more. There's no other state in Australia that is as decentralised as that. But Queensland is well renowned for its natural resources. So there are a number of mining projects, and those who keep talking about the mining boom being over, it's a very misleading comment. There's a lot of mining projects still in the pipeline there, but there's a lot of tourism projects throughout Australia, but especially in Queensland, where it's always been renowned for its warmer weather. So roughly a third of these $400 billion worth of projects are in the state of Queensland. There's more projects there than Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania, ACT and Northern Territory combined.
Well, you can certainly get a great picture from looking at the article. It'll give you a lot more detail than we're able to give you here. But Simon, I want to thank you for opening that vault, and I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. It's all put out by Propertyology, and my guest has been Simon Pressley. Simon, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure, Kevin.